everybody, Kira Dynamite here, and I'm back with another video, but today I'm going to talk about the originals, which is a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries. My friend was like, watch it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it, I'll do it. So I watched the first episode, so I'm just going to talk about the first episode, my first impressions, predictions, and yeah, so let's get started. And let me tell you something. Elijah has become one of my favorites because he's classy, okay? He has morals. He will cross the line if he has to, but he keeps his word most of the time. And I just really like the character. He thinks before he acts. He's not as brash and pretty much polar opposites of Damon and Klaus, like very different. And I love Damon and Klaus, but I gotta respect Elijah more because he knows what he's doing. He's like, listen, here's the plan. This is what we're gonna do. Da 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 da. And I'm like, Elijah, yes, thinking, planning, scheming, making deals. I just appreciate him. Period. Sorry if I'm like going in and out of order, but we find out that Klaus is a baby daddy and Marcel, let me just say this. A lot went on the first episode and I was just like, oh my god, this is a lot. Like, what am I in for? This is 5 seasons and like 20 some episodes. Like, why can't it be like 12 episodes a season? I'm kind of like, y'all got me stressed out already. But we find out Marcel, Charles, his real name is Charles. I know him from Switched at Birth, and he is just so nice to look at. Face is just beautiful. His smile is just, it radiates. And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. But we find out that Klaus is like going on he's trying to find out what like the witches are up to because he's like, they're plotting against me, they're doing something. And so Elijah calls Rebecca, another favorite of mine, and he's like, yeah, our brother is, going off the handle again. And she's like, let him have his temper tantrum. I'm really not trying to deal with that. She in her bath, she's chilling, she got the candles on, she got the bubble bath, she got the champagne. She's like, I'm really not worrying about what Klaus is doing. What do I have to do with that? So he can stab me and put me back to sleep. And the reason why he did that was because he got mad because I wanted to sleep. I'm not doing that again. So right now Rebecca's like, I don't want nothing to do with it. You need to come home and you need to let him do what he's gonna do. So Elijah's like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out, because we find out that Klaus got a baby on the way. And so Elijah's trying to figure all of this out while trying to figure out what's going on with the new town. Well, not the new town, but Marcel took over a town in New Orleans that Klaus used to have control of, but then he left and gave it to Marcel. And so when Klaus showed up, he was like, I used to rule this town. And Marcel was like, you left and never came back, so this town is mine. I have control over the witches. I have control over them. They're not even doing any magic. And then we find out that Marcel had one of them killed, and the sister is trying to overthrow him because she's like, I can't take this anymore. Like, you're not gonna be killing us off like this. And so Marcel is like, nah, leave the body in the streets. This is a reminder. This is a reminder for all of y'all. Y'all ain't gonna be using magic in my town. So we find out that one of the, what's her name? I can't remember her name. I'm gonna put her picture up right here. But she is like, okay, we got Haley, who was in the Vampire Diaries. She was in and out, also H2O. And she's pregnant with Klaus's baby. And so Elijah finds out, and the girl is like, we're keeping this baby, we're going to keep her safe because we need Klaus to come and set things right, because we're not trying to be prisoners. And I'm like, at this point, why don't y'all just leave? I would be like, you know what, half the town, bye. Like, I'm not trying to be in a town where I'm being restricted, you know. Elijah tries to broker a deal with them because Elijah's like, this is like my nephew, like, and Haley, or nephew, or niece, and Haley is like, I thought this couldn't happen, like, I thought this was impossible. And Elijah's like, he's a hybrid, like, anything is possible, really, like, anything can happen. And she's like, and he's like, oh, I didn't even take consideration, like, you're gonna be a mother, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, Elijah. See, Elijah's just so empathetic. He's like, I love him so much. Like, he's like, well, hold up, wait, how do you feel about this? I was like, he's so thoughtful. Am I an Elijah stan? You bet your bottom dollar. So far. Yeah, so we find out that the girl linked herself to Haley, so just in case anything happens, she can be like, oh, you trying to betray me? I'm gonna kill your baby and Haley. But here's the thing, I don't know why she thought this was a good idea with Klaus. Like, why would you think Klaus would, like, girl, Klaus is not like that. He's not that way. You can't try to blackmail him like that. So Elijah's like, let's just listen to what she has to say. And Klaus, and like, Elijah's like, this is your family. This is your family. You have another chance. We can live our life together forever. Da da da. And Klaus is like, you can kill her and that baby. I don't care. And then he leaves. And so he meets up with Marcel, and Marcel is like, hey, welcome back. I was like, hanging. Da da da. And Klaus is like, so what's going on here? This is my town, da da da. And Marcel's like, no, you left. This is my town now, actually. And then Klaus is like, you know what? I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not here playing with y'all. I'm trying to chill here. This is my home. And so then he gives a werewolf bite to one of Marcel's men, and he's like, you think I'm playing with y'all? Now he got a day to live, sucker. And then he leaves, and then Elijah's like, do you think this is really a good idea? Do you think this is really a good thing that you did here? See, my thing is, okay, so I love Klaus, even though he can be horrible, right? My thing, the reason why I actually like Klaus is because he knows he's horrible. Like, he's like, this is what it is. He doesn't deny it. So he is like, Elijah is trying to convince him, like, we can be a family. We have each other's backs. Like, we can raise this child, da da da. And he's like trying to convince him, and they're fighting. And then Klaus is like, you are such a softie, like, you are going to fight for me. And then I like see the parallels of Damon and Stefan, but here's the comparison here. Stefan gives up on Damon really fast, whereas Elijah is like, we gonna work this out, like, I'm not tired of you, so what, you did this and that, it doesn't matter, let's work this out. And that's why I like Elijah. Stefan, some of y'all was getting a little annoyed in the comments when I ranked that. I finished Vampire Diaries, so I'm gonna make another ranking video for that. But some of y'all was mad in the comments that I ranked Stefan so low. But Stefan is, we gonna talk about it. But I do see the comparisons of those two brotherhood relationships, except Elijah and Stefan are different to me. And Damon, I feel like if Damon got someone pregnant, he would want the baby, though. He wouldn't be like, kill her, I don't care, unless he had his humanity off. But so yeah, Elijah really wants this to work. He wants the family to work, and my thing is like, that's a nice sentiment, but you know, you have to remember who you're talking to. You have to remember who your brother is, and you need to figure out a way that he will be receptive to what you're saying. They get Haley from the witches, and the witches are like, you know what, here's our deal, take her, but remember, my life is linked to hers. And so that's when Elijah, and here's one of my predictions. I feel like Elijah and Haley are gonna have something going on, or Haley's gonna like him because he's just so understanding and empathetic toward her, and he like means what he's saying. It's not like an angle. Then Klaus walks in on him and he's like, oh, Elijah, so understanding. He says something like that. So Marcel, we find out that he has another magical person who can sense magic, and that's how he's controlling the town. And I'm like, how she looked like she was a high schooler or something. So I'm like, how is this gonna work? And who is this girl? What really ticked me off with Klaus, and I wasn't surprised, but he staked Elijah again. And I'm like, dude, again? And he's like, for me to get done what I need you to be out of the way. Like, essentially is what he's saying. And I'm like, Elijah, you should have listened to Rebecca. She was like, come on home, bro, because Klaus is gonna do what he's gonna do. You cannot control him. And one of the funny scenes is that when Klaus met with a girl about Haley, he was like, you're trying to control Klaus, you're trying to blackmail, so he told her, if any harm comes to that girl, he said, oh, if she gets out of line, Klaus will kill them all. And then he walked away, and then he walked back and he said, and I'm gonna help. See, this is the thing. Elijah is like, if we have a deal, it's the deal. I give you my word. But if you break it, if you betray me, if you try to play a little game, best believe I'm going to go off, and it's just how it is. And from the beginning of the episode, we see that a flashback was. Let me just say, I'm so glad Cole isn't in this. Like, he'll probably be in flashbacks, but I'm like, I just really want nothing to do with him. I hope he does not show up. Flashback where Elijah felt bad because he was trying to help. He wanted to help Klaus because Klaus was found out to be a werewolf / vampire. Her mom cheated with another man, and I remember that from Vampire Diaries. The father was like, tie him down, and Elijah didn't want to do it, but you know how abusive fathers are. He was like scared of the dad, and he felt bad, so he actually did help tie Klaus down, and he actually apologized to Klaus. He was like, I want to, apologize. I felt bad, da-da-da. And that's another thing that's different between Elijah and Stefan. Stefan took a really long time to admit when he's wrong. Like, he thinks he's so self-righteous. I mean, he turned Damon into a vampire without Damon's consent, and then like just went on with his life. Like, I really felt like Stefan didn't make enough apologies about that, because best believe I would have been so angry if I was Damon. So anyway, he apologizes to him, yada yada. And then also in that flashback, when it was like in the 1800s, I think, and they were on a ship, and then that's when they were like, hey, where are we? Of course Klaus was like killing people, and Elijah was like, here we go. And that's how they got to New Orleans. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the first episode was really, it was a lot of back and forth of them trying to figure out what they were gonna do, and Klaus like trying to figure out if he cares really or not about this baby. And I'm hoping that the baby is actually born. I'm hoping, like, Haley hasn't been getting on my nerves so far, and I'm hoping that she won't, because I want to like her, I think it'll be interesting. It's only 5 seasons, so I'm happy about that, because I don't need to be dragged on. I'm hoping that they don't kill the baby or her, but they might kill her. But I'm really interested to see Klaus as a father. Like, how is that gonna pan out? Because 5 seasons, Haley is going to give birth before the 5 seasons is over. So I'm like really interested to see how this is gonna play out. Marcel is like, Marcel is chaotic. Like, I know he has everything in order, and the town in order and everything, but he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, how long can I take this? I love his smile, but I'm like, how long can I take this? And I want to see him, I want to see how he is when he's like 100% done and angry and ruthless. Like, that's gonna be interesting because like he does everything with a smile pretty much. So yeah, favorite character is Elijah. Klaus didn't do anything surprising. I want Rebecca to show up soon, but I also want her to live her best life, but I feel like she's gonna show up. I hope Cole doesn't show up unless it's a flashback. I know their older brother died with the mom or something in Vampire Diaries or something like that. I hope Caroline shows up. I really want Caroline and Klaus together. I feel like they're really meant to be together. And my thing is, like, if you can marry a Ripper, I mean, Klaus is right there, honey. Like, there's nothing to think about. So yeah, those are my initial reactions of the first episode. Please don't spoil anything, and I'll be back with another video very soon. I know my original schedule was Wednesdays and Fridays, but I like right now I'm just gonna upload when I feel like. If that's every day, every other day, whatever, I'm just gonna upload when I feel like uploading. And I don't want to like give a set time because like I feel like such a fake when I gave a set time, because sometimes I wake up on a Wednesday and I'm like, I'm tired, and then I'll wake up on a Monday or Tuesday, feel great. And so I'm just gonna make videos when I like, at the moment I'm like, I'm gonna make a video right now. And I think that's much easier than what I've been doing. So yeah, my next video, I want to do the final ranking, and I also want to talk about one of my favorite shows named Merlin. I really hope you guys have seen it. If you haven't, let me tell you, watch it. You will not. And there's only 13 episodes a season. It's on Netflix. I watched it a couple years ago, and I'm rewatching it now, and I'm just having the time of my life, darling. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if I missed anything that you're like, hey, you didn't talk about, let me know so I can reply to you. And I'll see you guys soon. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.